Hi, it's Tyler Kettle, and I'm doing a piece this week called Talk with Trump, about a journalist who goes and talks to Trump. I'm sitting in the White House press room with media badge around my neck. Journalists from CNN, The Times, and many of the other major news outlets fill every seat in the room. We're all waiting for Caroline Levitt to take the podium. Well, most of us are. There's this odd tension in the room. People shift in their chairs. They quietly speak to each other and to fill the silence, like they're waiting for a very strict teacher. The stress makes me even more stressed than I already am. I glance at my thin gray tie and wonder if I should have gone with the red white tie to better connect with the man I was about to see, or would that have been very not subtle? Does he even know what subtle is? This isn't always the only one that I own, and does not see a lot of use, if I'm being honest. Last time I wore it was on a date when I was trying to make it look like I'm more successful than I am. Definitely not one of my strongest ideas. When I was packing for the trip, I wondered about the questionable thin gray tie, the gray pants, the tiniest hole in the knees. Dear Lord, what if he sees it? Or the gray faded jacket, a side effect of thinking it was machine washable. Oops. And the black shirt with the missing button, the scuffed brown shoes. Everything about it is terrible. Maybe I should have invested in a new suit, but I didn't want to waste my rent money on something that I was only going to wear once, especially not for the idiot that I'm about to meet. Not like he dresses that well. I'm still confused as to why I'm interviewing him. I work for a small time online magazine called Vancouver right now. We have a small office in the back of a warehouse in Gastown. The magazine can't even afford to rent the whole space, so it's to share it with a brewery whose employees have a very creative approach to brewing. I've never heard of someone making beer using hot dogs, oysters, and bacon at the same time. Believe me, that is not something you want to smell when you're trying to make a deadline. It's like vomit and garbage mixed together. Somehow I've seen people buy it on purpose. Do they not have taste buds? Anyway, that's what I do. I report on everything that happens in Vancouver, day by day, the rain, the shops, and the not great stuff. When my boss lets me, as he said, let's make Vancouver look really, really, really good. Just forget about the other stuff, like homelessness, poverty, rising house prices, inflation, and our pesky neighbors to the south. But yeah, let's report on another brunch spot opening. The local influencers slash idiots need to know where to go so they can take photos of their food and not eat it. Other than that, I'm in my 30s and I live on commercial 2 cats. An apartment that is too expensive, somehow too hot and cold. When I moved in, the landlord said there may or may not be asbestos here. Thankfully, he didn't say mold. Hey, shit. How the fuck did I get here? A few weeks ago, my aging and poorly dressed boss called me into his office a few weeks ago. The man who dresses like a tech bro, vest and all, and believes that he is 20 years younger than he actually is. The hair plugs aren't fooling anyone. Neither are the teeth that are way too white. He said the White House had read one of my articles and wanted me to interview Donald Trump. They wanted me? Seriously? They want a guy who eats beans from cans and looks up if he can still donate sperm for me to interview Donald Trump. I asked him if this was a joke. He told me it was legit. His words, not mine. I refused. This led to a huge argument where I said things like, he's an idiot and I don't want to go, give it to someone else. He told me to be a team player and I should do this for the good of the company. The usual management talk. I turned to leave, which caused him to say, I will put you in Motel 6. I'll get you a reasonably fancy room in a Holiday Inn. And grab a door handle. Fine. I'll get you a room at the Hilton. He turned back to him. Keep talking. We have full access to the meat fridge, he said as I stay quiet. And I'll give you $100 for per diem a day. 200 sold. Jokes on him, I would have done it for the mini fridge. As I left the office, I realized maybe this would be good. Chance to get out of the city and clear my head. I had recently broken up with my girlfriend, now ex, because she wanted to move in and get a chihuahua. Oh, she also demanded I get rid of the cats. Naturally, I broke with her in response. Also, what more moron adopts one of those things offspring on purpose. The morning of the interview, I arrived at the White House that morning and thanked my Uber driver as I stepped out onto the busy sidewalk. Granted, in response, I sped off into the usual DC traffic. Cold wind would pass and I shivered a little. I saw the White House before me, a place where JFK and FDR wrote bills that benefited the people they served, to varying rates of success, and where Bill Clinton used to sleep with, not his wife. The White House I saw before me was a trashy version of its once majestic self. Gold covered the exterior, billboards and posters for Amazon, Walmart, McDonald's, and every American corporation you can think of were mounted on the roof and hung from the walls. There were so many of them, they seemed to meld together into one ball of late-stage capitalism and blatant corruption. I had seen it on news, but see it up close was a little sad. Perhaps Canada should burn down again? Or not. I looked along the fence and saw there was an open gate and a white booth near a desk beyond it. There was a sign on the booth that read, "Press entrance." A line of well-dressed people slowly filtered past the gate, onto the White House grounds and into the building itself. Soldiers with rifles watched as they walked. I joined the line and noticed that everyone was holding their press badges in their hands. I pulled out my own from my pocket and did the same. The line moved quickly in a few short moments. I reached the white booth and was standing before a sitting and very overweight security guard with no neck. His red tie hung past his sizable stomach. Wrinkles covered his forehead. Badge and ID. He aggressively took the badge and my license from my outstretched hand and looked it over. "My name is Ben Phillips, and I'm here to meet with the president," I mentioned. "You're Canadian?" the man said as he stared at my documents. "Yes, but I said, "You don't look Canadian." "Sorry, I left my hockey stick and toque at home," I said, without even thinking about it. "Shit. Are you trying to be smart with me?" the man asked. Sorry, I didn't mean that," I said, trying to relent. "You Canadians apologize a lot. No wonder your country is in shambles and everyone thinks you're a pussy." Kept looking at our documents. One of the soldiers moved closer to us. "Right. So I'm here to see the president." I chanced a glance at the soldier's rifle and really hoped he was one of the trigger-unfriendly ones. "I know. I heard you. Head into the press room. Someone will come get you." Security guard hands me my ID and badge back. "Are you sure? Should you call ahead?" I asked. "Hey, don't tell me how to do my job. Move it along." The man waved me away. "Sorry," I said. "See? Always apologizing," security guard said as I walked away. What a prick. I walked over a gold-covered path / yellow brick road which led me into the White House. Inside, things were chaotic. People walked past and yelled into their phones. And like the outside, every surface that could be gold and adorned with advertisements was gold and adorned in advertisements. TVs were hung on the walls and played a series of adverts. One of them shows an Amazon worker talking about how respectful their company is and how much better their life is after becoming an Amazon employee. Right. If you believe that, I have some magic means to tell you. I saw a group of people with press badges and followed along with them. Before long, I was taking a seat in the press room, the exact place where I definitely should not be. Yet through some weird twist of fate, destiny, or a divine miracle, if you believe that crap, I had somehow managed to get into this room. It was this moment that I finally realized the full weight of what I was about to do. I was about to meet Donald Trump and ask him questions one-on-one. And a man I despise, yet, if I fuck this up, I could lose my job, my entire career, my shit apartment, everything. What the fuck?